Today we're going to do the corrections for the Algebra Quiz 1. Question 1, expand and simplify the expression you see here. First and foremost, this part here, we have to expand x in, and here is negative sign, we take it as negative 1. And you multiply this in here, multiply this in here. So for this part here, you get 6x squared minus 2x minus 3x minus 2. Okay, be very careful and notice that a lot of you took 6x squared minus 2ax to give you 4x. Let me write it down in red color at the side there. That is a wrong concept. Okay, you all wrote 6x squared minus 2x is equals to 4x. This is a wrong concept. Alright, because x squared and x are not like terms. You cannot just take 6x squared minus 2x to get 4x. So take note of that. But negative 2x and negative 3x, they are both like terms in x, so you can actually combine them, okay, or simplify them rather. So in this case, what we get is 6x squared minus 5x minus 2. And question 1 is done. We move on to question 2a. Okay, question 2a. 2x minus 2 over 3 equals to 3. Notice that this is an equation. Equation means that something is equal to something. It's an equal sign there. It's an equation. So for equations, what we can do is we can multiply or divide both sides by the same number. So in this case, notice the denominator is a 3. So what I'm aiming to do now is to multiply both sides by 3, so that I can eliminate my denominator 3 here. So I will eliminate 3 and 3 here. So what I get, next step is I get 2x minus 2 is equals to 9. Many of you will think that this is simply cross multiply. Cross multiply is an incorrect concept. What we're actually looking out for here is you multiply both sides by 3 to eliminate the denominator here. That's why you get 2x minus 2 equals to 9. You simplify, 2x is equals to 11. Alright, then here what we do is we are dividing both sides by 2. So here 2 and 2 will eliminate. I get x equals to 11 over 2. Please express this as x equals to 5 and a half. Always use mixed numbers when possible because they are the most accurate. In this case, if you wrote it as 5.5, I can accept because 5.5 is an exact decimal. But in this case, sometimes you get 5 and 1/3. If you write it as 5.33, you actually lose marks there for accuracy. So take note of that. 5b, let me copy down the question, not 5b, 2b, I copy down the question, equals to 7 minus 3, 1 minus 2y. First part here quite simple, most of you are clear as to what to do. You are aware that when you multiply 3 in, it's commutative, so you get 3y minus 12 is equals to 7. Here is where many of you make the mistake. Here it is negative 3. Okay, negative 3, you multiply into the 1. You also multiply into the negative 2y. Negative 3 times 1 will give you minus 3. Negative 3 times negative 2y. Negative and negative will give you positive 6y. Then we simplify here. 3y minus 6y is negative 3y equals to 7 minus 3. Here you plus 12 on this side, plus 12 on the other side, you get a plus 12 over here. Negative 3y is equals to 16. Y is negative 5 and 1/3. Expressed as a mixed number. If you wrote this as negative 5.33, I'm afraid you lose marks there in the examination and class test or otherwise. So make it a habit always to write it out as a mixed number. Negative 5 and 1/3, and avoid negative 5.33. Notice the difference between 3 and question 2a and 2b. This is an expression, so you can't just simply say multiply by 6 throughout this expression. What we can do is we can multiply each term by 1. Okay, then you ask me, Mr. Sim, you multiply by 1. What's the use of multiplying by 1? But 1 can be expressed in different ways. For example, 2 and 3, the lowest common denominator is 6. So what I'm multiplying here is I'm multiplying by 3 over 3. Notice 3 over 3 is what? You press your calculator, 3 over 3 gives you 1. So I'm not changing anything here because I'm actually in reality multiplying by 1. Similarly here, I'm multiplying by 2 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm changing nothing here. It's an expression. You can't change the value because it's not an equation. Equation can just multiply by 6 on both sides. In this case, you cannot change anything. It's an expression by itself. So I can say 3 over 3, then multiply by 2 over 2. Now, what happens here is this. 4x times 3 will give me 12x over 6 minus, okay, 2 times 3 here is simple, is 6. 2 times this 2 here. Many of you want to multiply the 2 here and then want to multiply inside the brackets again. There you get negative 4 times 2x minus 16. You should only multiply one time. Okay, so what you get is minus 4 times x minus 8, like that. It should not be 2x minus 16 inside here because this 2 will only multiply by the 2. Don't go and multiply one more time and inside here get 2x minus 16. Next thing, you can combine. Since they both have the same denominator now, as we learned in primary school, what we can do is combine the fractions to get 12x minus 4 times x minus 8 over 6. Now be very careful as you expand here. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4, okay, times negative 8. Negative and negative will give me positive 32. Be careful, many of you wrote it as negative 32. And next part here, what I get is 12x minus 4x is simply 8x plus 32 over 6. Here is where there's a slight trick to the question. The slight trick is this: we can actually express it in lowest term here. It can actually be simplified further. Why? If you notice, this term, and this term, they all have a common factor. What's the common factor? The common factor is 2. So in this case, what I can do is I factorize 2. Alright, I get 4x plus 16 in my numerator. The denominator can be expressed as 2 times 3. So what is the common factor now that we can eliminate? 2 and 2 can be eliminated, which gives me the single fraction in the lowest term, 4x plus 16 over 3. And I am done with question 3. Please get your corrections done.